you unmute your mic. Okay, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. I was thinking of talking to myself for a minute. Okay, I'm guessing Nonso is unavailable, so I could just go to Comfort. So just very succinctly, your name, what you do, and your organization.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm in traffic. It might get noisy. Good evening. My name is Comfort Sonyaga. I'm the founder and CEO of Izano Africa. So at Izano, what we do is provide affordable insurance policies for farmers. I mean, inclusive and affordable insurance policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. I can go to Timitope. Timitope, are you there? Hi, Timitope. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Kelly.
Yeah, so I'm Timtope and I'm the CEO of PayU. What we do at PayU is we have a product we like to call auto insurance, Uber for auto insurance, where vehicle owners who essentially cannot afford comprehensive auto insurance on an annual, biannual, quarterly basis can essentially pay for auto insurance on a per minute basis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to move to Dumebi, right, Torako.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Dumebi Okonkwo. I'm the insurance operations manager for Turaco. At Turaco, we're basically just focused around distributing our service and product in a very simple and frictionless manner, in a way that we're able to collaborate with conventional insurance companies to ensure that our customers, our B2B partnerships get to enjoy basic and generic insurance products, but in a very simple and efficient manner.
Thank you very much, Dumebi. Okay, I think those are like the present members at the moment, and so we can kickstart any time the other guys join in. So again, today we're going to be having Alfred from AXA Mansard, we'll be having Tunde from Cornerstone Insurance, as well as Piyush from ICO Insurance, and we'll be having conversations around partnership for success, which I think is very important, especially now that we are working together and trying to collaborate to ensure that insurance is effectively distributed, especially to the financial exclusive population, or I like to say the underserved, right? So without further ado, because we'd like to maximize the time, I think we can turn on our cameras, right? If you don't mind, that's for Alfred, Tunde, and Piyush. Thank you very much. Alfred? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so while I understand that, I'm sure that most of us here have actually read your profile, but it would be nice to just sort of do like a brief introduction of your company, of yourself, and what you do. So I will start with Piyush.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Piyush. I work for ICO Insurance, which is one of the largest insurance companies of Nigeria. Especially, we are a very, very retail-focused company. I work here as head of partnership and alliances. I've been working here for more than 2 years now. That's about me.
Thank you very much, Piyush. I'll move to Tunde. Could you please introduce yourself and your company?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tunde Lawi. I work for Cornerstone Insurance PLC as the head of product development and innovation. Cornerstone has been around for 27 odd years, focused on corporate and retail business. We do a lot of partnerships, especially on tech-enabled partnerships. Some of the cohorts here we've had engagements with in the past. I see you, Dumebi. I see you. Okay, no one is here from Padikova yet, but yes, we've had engagements in the past. Anyway, nice to meet everyone.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Over to you, Alfred.
Yeah, good afternoon all. So I'm Alfred Igbai. I head the Emerging Customers and Digital Partnerships team of AXA, basically focused on driving access financial inclusion strategy and doing this through digital partnerships in the long run. So AXA is a composite insurance company in Nigeria, made up of life and general business entities, and also health insurance and investment banking. Thank you.
All right. So to get into the business of today, I'd like to start with you, Alfred. What exactly has been your experience in the partnership space? So we've often heard about people moving from a phase of competition to collaboration, and then I dare to say that this is the future where we are beginning to see a lot of co-opetition. I'll give an instance with the likes of Amazon, looking to penetrate the insurance space. I would also like to see that of, Elon Musk. That's the most recent development for Tesla, wanting to provide cover, for their customers. So what has been your experience in terms of that partnership space, and how, it has transitioned to through all of these phases?
Okay, thank you. So yes, I mean, over time, we've seen a huge evolution, and also seen a lot of companies actually, make attempt to enter into the space. I mean, it's actually a very, very welcome approach. We kicked off, strongly with the partnerships team at AXA in 2012, where we had we had seen an opportunity in driving access to insurance using companies that had more access to customers than we were even able to reach being a conventional insurer. So by way of strategy, we then decided to look at different industries and see what were the key players in there, how were they actually selling, could we evolve our business in a certain way that we're able to then leverage on those opportunities around distribution and reaching out to more customers. Collaboration could not be overemphasized at the point, and we've seen that evolve over time. We started off with the telco space with MTN, where we had delivered some form of life insurance products that was able to reach the mass market at a more efficient way, in a way that we're not really disrupting their lifestyle, giving them this products through mobile phone technology with light tech. And we're able to get the right traction from there. And this basically just opened up our eyes to the kind of opportunities we can actually get within the space, collaborating with various entities outside of the insurance ecosystem. Over time, we've seen that evolution from competition to collaboration. They're now co-opetition, right? So what we're basically doing is to continue to see how we can we're basically evolving our system by setting up a new team that basically focuses on being more flexible in terms of product design, to be able to meet the growing demand for products and curb the issues around affordability access and basically drive all this efficiency through technology. The team is basically set up, and we've actually been interacting with a lot of potential partners within the space. Some of them are here today, and I mean, it's been a good run thus far. I wouldn't say we are where we want to be with regards to how we're dealing with these partnerships in the insurtech space. But we think we're basically in the right direction at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we'll be coming back to you on the last part of this. Okay, so I'll move on to Piyush. I know that you've been in that space for quite a while, right? And from the AICO point of view, how exactly have you guys been able to move, from seeing some of these partnerships as, competition to now, collaborating to ensure that the insurance penetration, especially in Nigeria, increases. So from that point of view of being around the longest, how would you see that as transitioned over time?
Thank you for me. And I think Alfred has answered the question very well. The experiences has been around the similar. But before we go and talk about insurance, I thought it's a good idea to take a reference which is outside the insurance industry and show everybody how the need and the demands moves when a new product comes in. So let's look at mobile phones. I don't know how many were here doing business or even born in the eras when there was no mobile phones. If you look at us, maybe I was that at a time I was not married or married just. I used to go to office and nobody used to ask me what time you will come, how are you doing, have you eaten your food? And we were okay. We are still going to office and coming back safely. When I was a kid, I was going to school. Nobody used to ask me, am I safe? I'm not safe. I'm in a hostel. And I used to send one letter which will reach after 15-20 days. A letter will come back after 20-25 days and we were okay. If a letter comes here and we were very comfortable. Then a revolution came, a device came in the hand. So suddenly I have a mobile phone in my hand and my hands are itching to call. Because my hands are itching to call, I need somebody else to also to have a mobile phone. So I started pushing for people to buy mobile phone, or I could sponsor somebody's mobile phone. I will buy for him. And slowly mobile phone reached the minimum critical mass and exploded. Today we know how the mobile phone has moved. This is exactly we need to do in insurance also. We are sitting at 2%. Now, if you look at, I'm reading the FNR report, which is this one of the sponsors for this program. Why people don't want to buy insurance? If I take in a nutshell, it says very clearly, I don't trust it. I don't know where to buy it. I don't know well they will play me, and I don't have sufficient money to buy. Now, if we start distributing the insurance in a conventional way, the agency model, which is everywhere available across the world, the biggest challenge what you face is if the agent goes and sells an insurance of say 500 naira and make 50 naira commission, his transport is going to be more than the premium, forget the profit. So he is not going to distribute this kind of policies. So what is the solution? Solution is insurtech. Same FNR reports talks about digitalization using mobiles in Nigeria is moving from 16% to 28% as per the last report, which means people are getting comfortable using digital solutions. Now, this is where insurtech comes in, get the financial right, models right. We are here to give the products. We are here to support them. Quite a few in this group also we are working with them, or we are talking to them, not working with them. And that is how I think we will look at. Right now, it's not about competition. It's about getting the minimum critical mass, growing the market. And all the insurance companies in Nigeria will go towards it. And there's no competition because the market is very big. 2% is nothing. The day we start touching 8%, 9%, 10%, we'll be tired of selling and this one, and new companies will again come in. So market is not about competing, cooperating. Right now, the objective is all of us on this meeting should be coming together, make the market grow. That's my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was so spot on. Again, like you mentioned on the FINA's report, some people would like to speak to the trust which I think that a lot of insurance and insurtech companies are starting to change that narrative, and also penetrating the market from the bottom of the pyramid than just focusing on the top of the pyramid. So that's really an awesome approach. So I'll move on to Tunde right now. I know that Alfred and Piyush have mentioned a lot about the option of collaboration right now. In fact, one of the very buzzwords we heard during COVID was, InsurTech was going to come and disrupt the insurance space. They were out for, let me just put it this way, they were out for blood. But then at the end of the day, we realized that it wasn't exactly the case. It was going to be not competition at all, because these are people that actually need the back end of the incumbent, right? So how would you say that Cornerstone are positioned to be one of those organizations that actually support the growth of InsurTech? Because again, this conversation really is about partnership for success. So how have you seen collaboration in the space, especially being in a position that you are in?
Thanks, follow me. The insurance industry is one of, it's so unique in that we almost can't do business without collaboration, without partnerships, right? I've worked in this industry now for 17 odd years. And apart from our agency networks, every other distribution channel that we have is a partnership. Whether it's the brokers that we are, selling through for corporate business, whether it's the bank insurance platforms, right? I remember when I joined the industry, partnerships with auto dealers was something that was just starting. Paying auto dealers, but maybe it had started prior, but paying auto dealers a commission whenever they sell a vehicle, they add a car insurance policy on top, they get a commission, as well. So collaboration has always been around in our industry. Alfred mentioned, a very successful scheme that AXA Mansard ran with MTN. Cornerstone also had a highly successful scheme, perhaps even more successful than AXA, if Alfred will allow me to say that. You're muted, Alfred. Okay, I thought maybe you were speaking. Yeah, so it was in 2014 thereabouts. Our partnership with Airtel generated about 2 million subscribers, possibly the highest number of, insurance subscribers in any one year, right, in Nigeria. And so to your point, Cornerstone has always been, at the forefront of partnerships. I mentioned during the intro, we've been engaging with Turaco, engaging with Padikova, engaging with Wella Health, engaging with Shell, I forget the company name now. These conversations have been going on for a while. Yeah, and initially, it was always about, what equity stake can we take in this business? But now, to be honest, we don't need to have an equity stake, in a partner to, cooperate, right? Or to co-compete. We're open to, our appetite for partnerships is very high. All the discussions we're having, are progressing, albeit slowly in some cases. But at least the bottom line, as you said, is that we all want to grow our penetration. We all want to see the indices, increase or get better, for our industry. The apple or the pie is still largely unshared, so competing against each other, is not even adding value at all. We should be cooperating and partnering with each other.
Thank you very much. So I know that you mentioned Airtel Insurance, and I'd like to say that it was at least one of the very successful, like you mentioned, products for Cornerstone at the time. But again, of course, we can say that one of the reasons why this, sort of ended in a way was because of, regulatory influence, a lot on regulatory influence. I know now this is a time that we need to leverage on each other's strengths, but what can you say about, coming together to influence some of these, changes in policy? So a typical example would be the fact that insurtechs are currently having issues with the regulator on, defining their key, right? And this is an insurance company that we've, to a certain extent, gotten it right. There's a licensing, there's a regulation around that. We have our market conduct, and all of that is there. But how exactly are the incumbents, that's the Cornerstone, for instance, positioning to influence these policy changes to, reflect the penetration index rate that we are hoping to attain?
This is perhaps the most progressive administration I've seen in NICOM. In the course of our work, we engage with, or I personally engage with the micro insurance team at the commission, the products approval team in the commission, and other teams. And to be honest with you, at some point, many years ago, NICOM acted more like a police or a gatekeeper for the industry. If anything you brought to them was outside of the remit of the guidelines or any of the regulations, it was bounced immediately. But now we're seeing them, actually engaging the market, asking questions, asking us to bring in, to NICOM. BimaLab companies have been NICOM, and I hear, conversations going on all the time. I believe that we're going in the right direction. That being said, the job of the regulator is to protect the customers, their interests, right? And innovation is risky, ultimately. We may have these fantastic ideas that will change the world and revolutionize insurance, but they are the adults in the room, so to speak. They are the ones who, put the brakes on. That is their role. It's an important role, but I'm glad, I have personal experience. I'm glad to say that things are becoming more collaborative, with NICOM. A number of product approvals that we've had in the past, would have taken months of presentations and meetings and justifications. Now, they just get it. Once you, tell them what you're trying to do, they get it, and approvals come, in a timely fashion. So I think, we're moving in the right direction. I'll cede the floor to my colleagues to add, anything else here.
Okay, Alfred, would you want to speak to that as well?
Okay, yeah, just to add to what Kunle has said, I mean, regulation and is definitely top of mind and still would affect collaboration as we go further, especially engaging with the insurtech space. I mean, we saw the regulation around tech collaborations, and we're still working around that regulation to see how it fits best. However, we believe that for these things to work, we need to also leverage on the strengths of the insurtech. See what we can. Everybody has to bring something to the table for things to basically flourish. So what's the insurance company basically bringing to the table? This would include our technical capacity, the fact that we've been in the space. We basically understand how products should be built, be priced, and the rest of it. Our capital base, and which basically gives us the ability to pay claims, and what next. risk management expertise too, cannot be overemphasized. We bringing in that analytics and working with the relevant data to come up with, great things that can be distributed even through and working with an insurtech. But still, we cannot do this 100% alone without the insurtechs actually bringing great things to the table, like their tech proficiency. Where a bit, the conventional companies are a bit rigid, while the insurtechs are more, they're very, very flexible. And, when they take those products, in an innovative way and distribute it to new markets, everybody gains more grounds at the end of the day. So I feel like, leveraging on their strengths too, would actually help to deepen the penetration of insurance at the end of the day. And, this collaboration is, is really, really needed for us to be able to move forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Piyush, would you like to add anything to what Alfred has said?
Sure. See, the experience in past 2-3 years, which we are trying to drive the partnerships. There are two sets of partners which we have been approached by. One set came to us so that they can tie up with ICO, show to the investors and collect some more money. So after doing all the hard work of the technical API integrations and other things, they get their funding and they vanish. They stop responding also. On the other side, the other set of partners who come, or rather 3 sets of partners are there. This is the first set who come mostly to ensure that they have some good names with them so that their investors can do their funding. Second set of partners who come here, they come with a product which they think is very, very good. They may not suit ICO for it is not solving any of our problem. Either it should be able to help us in our distribution, or it should be able to help us in managing our claims and other things to bring down our cost. Or it should be so unique that we are ready to go ahead and invest with them and develop with them. But they come with a box and they say, this is what you need to do. And that partnerships also fail and there is no interest shown by the company because it's not solving any problem. It's the third set. If those kind of people come who sit with us, who understand our problem, understand our challenges, and build a solution which is going to work to solve ICO's objective of our organization at ICO, then we go all out to support them. We have Shagun also in the call, who's our head of marketing. He's ready to invest for a joint collaborative marketing. We are ready to work with them to go to the regulator, ensure them getting all the NOCs, their licenses, whatever required, we will work with them to ensure that this is a partnership. Just a view on it that no partnership can be successful if both the parties are not going to benefit. So that's my 2 cents from my side.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I wanted to say that for ICO now, talking about the third parties, third types of insurtech that comes to your organization and to develop products for you. Has there been any particular improvement on say for instance process or customer experiences in any way that has then impacted the profitability of ICO? Because I think that these are like very important questions to ask. Not just that organizations are designing products and services, but the overall goal again is to ensure that there's some profitability as well as increase in penetration index.
Follow me, your question was not very clear, but if I try to, what I understood is what you're trying to ask, what kind of partnership is ICO looking at or anything else? I did not get your question right.
I was saying that in terms of the collaboration that you've had with the third sets of insurtech, like what was particularly beneficial to ICO in terms of that collaboration? Was he able to improve your organizational process, your customer experience? What exactly were the values that this partnership brought to ICO?
So just to give you one example, the ICO works with domestic airlines to issue insurance when you buy the tickets. There are insurtechs who help us getting the payments, getting the policies done. And the entire system is working very smoothly. And we are issuing quite a few number of policies every month on these platforms. Now you look at, there are some other platforms who help us selling motor policies. And these motor policies are being sold to customers on a monthly basis. And this is working well for us. Then there are some platforms who has helped us managing our claims management for see, what we do is classically have 3-4 kinds of products. The mass market product, which is what we call it affordable insurance. These products have been designed to sell at a very low cost. And if we try to do them claims ourselves, we'll not be able to afford these products. So we have outsourced that. And that there's a insurtech which is managing our claims management and is working very well for us. So if you look at the customer journey, is the customer when he buys, customer when he has claims, or customer when he has a renewal. If an insurtech is helping on any of those things, it's going to be very beneficial to ICO.
Okay. Thank you very much for that response. I think I'll just delve right into the next one, and I think that this is actually very important. Still on you, Piyush, because again, you've sort of given us the 3 sets of your InsurTech partnership, and I think that is important that it's gotten right. So, what would you consider as the right partnership? And here's why I'm asking this question. For insurtechs to actually upscale, or for our insurance organizations to be able to get our distribution rights, it's important for us to actually have the right partnership in terms of who we are partnering with, and how, like, we're looking at who are the drivers important to help with our organizational objectives and strategies. So what were for you, or what are the right partnerships for success? What would you measure as success in a particular partnership or collaboration with an insurtech company?
See, currently Nigerian market, we are learning. Like one of my ex-colleagues, he used to say that we are all paying school fees. We may not know what is the right model, but what we know is any insurtech who wants to work with us is most welcome to work with us. What we need to do is we need to sit down together and understand each other's strengths. If somebody wants to go in distribution, we should know what segment is going on, because I heard, I heard Comfort saying that she wants, she is into affordable insurance for agri. So if she is going into agri business, she definitely have large set of customers looking for some kind of insurance, which is going to help her mass distribute it. Now, if she comes to us, what we will do is we will make her sit with our agri team, because ICO is a composite insurance, and we also have our HMO, and we also have agri. So based upon the strength the distributor has, we will make them sit with that product specialist, and we'll come up with a specific product for that insurtech. And that is how then we can develop the technical capabilities, creating the APIs and all those things at the back end. Then probably we can help. Then we can help them distribute or whatever they want in terms of teaching them, because most times insurtech people, by my experience in India and few more countries, insurtech people are largely tech people who know something about insurance. So what we will do is we will learn their technology, we'll understand from them how the technology works, and we will support them on the complete know-how of the insurance market, about their market, what products, and then probably we will help them distribute, and that's how it's going to work. So very, very classic way of doing is work together. It's not that I am right or you are right. It's we right and we win.
Awesome.
Can
I can see that.
can I speak?
Okay.
So it's actually interesting that good evening once again. So it's interesting that he mentioned my name. I don't know if he remembers. We had a meeting with their team sometime last year, but we never got back to them. And I was really curious to hear what he was going to say about areas of partnership because it was a thing that left us wondering. I mean, we were just edgy because we didn't even know how to forge ahead with this partnership proposal. We had written to them and then requested for a meeting. We had that meeting. We went back and forth. What do you guys want to do? We said what we wanted to do. Okay, we asked the ICO team to please send us their brochure. Let's see the kind of products that they have. That never happened. But instead, like the team members were like, okay, you know what? You send us a mail telling us what you want to do, like in details, and your model. And we're like, let's see the products that you have. Honestly, if this conversation went the way he explained it to us, like he's explaining now on this call, we probably would have made significant progress with them. But we just had to back out. And I think he was actually on that call. I don't remember exactly if he was the one on the call, but I remember that there was someone that looks like him. But if I go back to the minutes of that meeting, I would definitely recall. But however, I'm happy to hear that. I mean, this explanation he has shared in terms of the partnership, the areas where they're looking to partner, right? They would consider partnership is actually clear enough. And honestly, my feedback on that experience with your team last year made us not to listen to the ICO team at the British High Commission when we had the meeting, I think sometime in March. By the time they were approaching us, where we said, well, I mean, you guys were not even willing to send us a list of the kind of products that you have so we could review. So that as a result, we're not willing to even have another meeting with the ICO team. This is just a feedback. Thank you.
Fair enough, Comfort. See, if you look at this, I think we are trying to answer the same thing. You said, send me your product list, and our team said, send me what you can do. So this is exactly what I was trying to say. Both of us are trying to tell each other, you tell me what you have before we go. Probably the idea was to sit together and understand you are an insurtech company, what is your strength? Then the product can be given what you require it. Otherwise, what happens is most times when people come, they come with a saying that this is what I have, please give me what you have. And then most times those partnerships never take off. So this also did not take off because both of us are sitting in our own places and trying to say each other, you give me what you have, and we were saying, you give me what you have. So this is exactly I'm saying. That's why most times the partnerships fail because both of us are asking each other what you have. While we have to sit together and come to our understanding, this is what I have, this is what you have, and let's move from here. So probably they were asking a letter from you to know who you are, what you do, and you are asking from us who we are and what we do. So that's the feedback because I remember this meeting when we had, I had put my agric guy onto it and to ensure that's why I used your name very clearly because we remember one meeting and after that nothing happened. He came and said Comfort is not responding. Now you're saying that he was not responding. Anyway, it's a different topic. We can talk other time, but this is what exactly I was trying to tell all of us.
Thank you very much, Piyush. Thank you very much, Comfort, for the feedback. I'll just quickly run to Alfred. Alfred, I know that, I mean, since the inception of the partnership department in AXA, right, you must have had several partnerships with different, I want to say, insurtech startups. With there has been a lot of collaboration with these partners, right? Has there been any time where these partnerships had failed? Like, say for instance, the model they were bringing in was entirely different from that of AXA's. Has there been in terms of premium collection and remittances, because again, it's important to understand who they say round pegs would typically fits into a round hole. So how exactly are you able to navigate through all of those expectations in terms of who the right fit is for AXA Mansard, or how you are able to guide this insurtech startup?
Thank you. So please confirm if you still hear me. I'm using a headphone now.
Yes, I can hear you.
So at AXA, what we do is when we engage with the startups, just like Mr. Piyush has said, we first try to understand what exactly the startup or the company wants to deliver, what market segments are they trying to address. We have subject matter experts, and at the partnership team, we try to train ourselves as all-rounders. So we're not just thinking in a degree. When we go into these sessions, we can basically think in a more secular, more holistic version, and then advise these companies, as much as possible. Upon understanding what they want to do, the first thing we do is send to them our conventionals. This is what we see as the problem, and this product conventionally would address those problems. But do they fit into your market space? Do they fit into the kind of prices your customers can pay? How can we be a bit more innovative in terms of the offering by mixing a few things together and creating one robust product for your customer at the end of the day? Then once we're able to then sort that out, we sign whatever agreements, and then we go into a pilot phase. We usually set up these pilot phases for about 3 months. Now, what are our expectations within this pilot phase? We understand that, so basically we want to test and learn. In most cases, every insurtech startup, every company that comes to us for a partnership is coming with something unique. These things have never been done before within any ecosystem. We're probably going to be the first pioneering this within that ecosystem. So we need to give ourselves a break to actually test different permutations, learn what really works, learn how best not to do business. So we don't call it pilot failures, but we just learn how not to do business and then improve on how we can then go to market in a more effective way when we have a full launch. For us, what we look out for in these startups, are you able to distribute? What is the underwriting process like? Are you bringing to us, an underwriting process, or do we have to bring in our conventionals and tweak it to fit your model, thereby driving that with technology? We have, our APIs ready to connect to these startups in the shortest time possible. The claims experience, we have to then look around, how is this ecosystem unique? How best would it be? Would we be able to serve them, when, a claim really arises? The real insurance product is the claim and not the policy being sold. Has at variance of what, we do in the conventional business. We feel, it always seems like, oh, you've sold a product and you've given the customer a document, then it's done. The real product is consumed at the time of claim. So we try to see, how we can work with the company to determine who would be the best person to be the first call when a claim arises. Would it be AXA or would it be you? And then if it's you, we then find a way to put in a process that you are able to attend to those claims quickly, or do a part of it and ensure that the customer is well informed, is satisfied to a certain level, and then it passes on to us, and then we sort out the payment. Then brings me to payment. How are we making the payments? How are you remitting? And how are we disbursing? Once we're able to understand all of that and how we would also be managing these customers, then with that, we're able to determine that, we have the right partnership to go to market. We were able to then, set in whatever pilots we can do, and, agree with the startup what would be the best time limit for this pilot. We do a minimum of 3 months. That's 90 days just to test and learn, as I said. And once we understand all of this, then we're happy to then go to market. We like to give the partners, a little bit of free hand. We don't want to overstep our boundaries. We understand, we know that they understand their space better than us, but we understand insurance a bit more than them, and we have that capacity. So we sit at the back end as underwriters. We give partners the ability to even white label products, so customers can actually identify with this product at point of engagement. There are a lot of partnerships in the market today that are actually AXA at the back end, but you never really hear, a lot of that information that it's AXA. It's always just in the fine print, So basically, in a nutshell, this is how we basically wrap around partnerships. This is how we look at it and go into business. We have a separate team set aside. We have been able to get approved the sandbox that has basically put in an influx of money into our ecosystem that ensures that we can actually run these pilots, and even if they're not as profitable as we expect them to be, that money is on the side as a buffer to also help us to, even support the push and support the partners at the end of the day. So I hope that answers it for you in a nutshell. Thank you.
Yes, it does. But again, I'm going to ask you, so in terms of, I could understand that you've mentioned a pain point, which is actually claims. And these are like one of the discouragements, or this is actually a key reason why we're having, lots of distrust in Nigeria, because of course, the mentality that a lot of people are, grown with, even though some largely don't patronize insurance companies or buy insurance products, is the fact that insurance organizations don't pay claims. So how are you able to then manage, turnaround time with claims payments, through these insurtech startups? Because this is, don't forget, like, this is something that is fast-paced. It's supposed to be, as I'm collecting your premium, I'm promising you that I'm going to settle the claims as quickly as possible. So how are you able to, manage that expectations within with the insurtech and their customers?
Okay, so it's two things. One of them would be from a product point of view. So it always depends on the kind of product we're actually putting in the market. That would then determine, what the claims process would then be. For a motor insurance claim, for example, because of the way the motor insurance is basically set up, we need to do some form of inspection a loss adjustment to actually show that this claim is actually legit and whatnot. Luckily for us, we've been able to, meet some companies that a company right now, an insurtech startup, that we're actually working with to give us a platform that allows us to actually take a picture of this claim, and somehow we can use algorithms to know that, yes, this is the exact vehicle that was insured. This vehicle was, when at the point of insurance, it was actually intact. And because of that, we're able to then, do a fast track of the claims. So we're able to pay claims for motor insurance that don't exceed a certain threshold in, same day, in just a few hours, once you use, our tech platform. Now, this platform, a version of it is going live almost immediately this month, and we will be releasing a second version going forward. So as I said, it always depends on the product. For mass distributed products, basically micro insurance type products, distributed by companies like Turaco, Wella Health, and some other cool companies within your cohorts, right? We're able to allow this insurtechs do the first level risk assessment of the claim and even make payments to the customer as fast as possible, but only to a capped threshold. Now, claims that exceed a certain amount will then go through our conventional underwriting process, but we're still committing to 24 to 48 hours for us to then disburse to the customer upon completion of all documentations. Now, we try to simplify the documentation for this for this space. So, for example, for us, it's just okay, what's supposed to happen to this customer for them to be able to make a claim? did this thing happen, and can we confirm it happened? Once we can tick those 3 boxes, we're fine. Documentation, we try to reduce to the smallest amount as possible. You do not want to burden customers in a certain level that buy micro-based products with a burden of coming up with excess documentation when it's time for claims. So as I said, it's one, the product, and 2, what's the best approach with regards to processing. Is the InsurTech company in the best position to actually cater to the customer, especially because of the value of the claims, and then come back to us for a reimbursement of that money? So far, the customer hits those 3 thresholds that I had stated initially. Or is AXA in the best position to actually pay the claims because of the value of the claims and the kind of assessments of those claims we would want to do at the end of the day? So that's basically is how we do this and how we work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll come back to you, Alfred. So to Tunde right now, one of the key areas for creating a right partnership is to ensure that some of those products that these insurtechs would like to distribute are then taken unbundled. Yes, let me use the word. They are unbundled from what it is that we currently have. Say, for instance, the major motor insurance, the fire insurance, because then these organizations or these companies come into one, just a fraction of that product, and sell to the financial exclusive market. So for you at Cornerstone, how are you able to create this particular product, should I say binge size product or sachet size product, for the right distribution, or for the distribution of those products and services by the insurtechs?
Okay. Let me first of all speak to your last question about partnerships, if you don't mind. Going back to what Piyush and Comfort were discussing, right? It's unfortunately something that we see a lot of. I would estimate that 9 out of 10 partnerships or potential partnerships die before launch, right? For several reasons. And the ones that do make it to, the pilot stage, or even, with a full launch, there is a high possibility of success. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but, there are a number of things that, we should consider, and the cohort should consider. There has to be a win-win for all parties. I think Piyush already, alluded to that. There also needs to be a shared vision and aligned outcomes. Many in a past life, when Alfred and I were colleagues, we approached a particular filling station, a petrol filling station, right? And the plan was to have the attendants sell insurance, while filling the tanks of their customers. Now we did our projections, we'll make X million, X billion, blah, 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 and the particular filling station will earn a commission. So we went there, we wore our best suits, we gave representation, and the amount that we were projecting we will pay them in commission, this is what these people make in a day. And the amount that we're proposing to pay them in commission was for a year. Right. So you may be coming to an insurance company with a fantastic idea, but what value is it going to add? As Bishop was saying, what problems are you solving? Those are the first things that we need to address. Now, speaking to your other question about products and how they are being unbundled or being sold in sachet sizes, I think your question was about the distribution methodology or models. Can you, please repeat that or clarify that?
Yes, because then again, a lot of insurtech organizations or startups are looking to distribute sachet-size products, because the target market at the end of the day is for people who can't afford or who ordinarily would not buy insurance. And so through this distribution channel, we're able to penetrate those underserved population by creating that, binge size product. And so my question now is around creating that, product type to ensure that these partnerships, we're able to leverage on the distribution platforms of InsurTech to then distribute that to the market. So I'm asking about, Cornerstone's approach to creating this product type.
We have a product development team in-house, and we would typically be the ones to develop these products and possibly distribute using our own platforms. If an InsurTech or a partner approached us with a version of that product that, again, ticks all the boxes and they have their own distribution platform, I think technology is the first enabler in this regard. If you consider your model, product aside, who are the people who are backing this thing? What sort of capital do they have? We've been approached by a number of web aggregators who, come in, and then we start the API integration, and then we discuss products and discuss commissions. And these guys, disappear. We don't hear from them anymore, right? So the products perhaps may not even be the most important thing, in these partnerships. Yes, it's what the customer is buying, but can we even have, a cohesive relationship, first of all, before we, engage the customer? Maybe I didn't get your question properly, but that's how I see it, from what I heard.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you the other questions I've asked Piyush and Alfred. What would you classify as, a successful partnership? I want to, a lot of, some of the guys on our call are not necessarily into distribution. Some are interested in, providing data, for instance, SLDRA, so what would you say is a successful matrix to measure, these partnerships?
First and foremost is cash, is the money. Does it add to our top line? Does it add to our bottom line? Second of all, does it solve our customers' problems? Is it actually a pain point that they have, which is not being met at the moment? And thirdly, what is the impact on the industry as a whole? You said something about competition. We have not even gotten to the point where, at least in retail anyway, we're still in the blue ocean here. So if you have a product, an example, so I represent Cornerstone on the micro insurance committee of the NIA, and we're talking about creating a micro insurance product that is uniform across all insurance companies. So AXA is not selling their micro insurance product. ICO is not selling, well, we can all sell our own, but there's a unified product that whichever agent or company you approach, you are being sold this particular product. That's, I lost my train of thought. That's, at least is one of the ways in which, we can partner for success. Follow me.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought as I was speaking. Forgive me.
Oh, okay, okay. So what the question again is around, what you would classify as successful partnerships, because like Alfred mentioned earlier, there are some that fail, and then you probably learn from it, and then there are some that has been, successful over time. So what would you say is a successful partnership?
Yeah, I think I covered that already. Does it meet, the financial targets and expectations that we have? Does it meet the customers', pain points and needs? And number three, does it advance the industry as a whole? I think that's the summary of my response.
Awesome. Okay, just to give a better insight into Cornerstone's ecosystem. for partnership? How is it like in terms of if I want to engage Cornerstone, for instance, how is your ecosystem for partnership like?
For the last year, or at least for most of this year, the technology team at Cornerstone has been working to create APIs for all our retail products. What's been happening in the past was that we would customize APIs per partner for each web aggregator that approached us. But now we're having, vanilla APIs that we can expose to any partner. They are ready, they're available. Once you walk through the door, we can send them to you via email or create, a web dump that we can, put on the server for you. We have been approached by many companies in the past. As I said, many of them do not reach fruition, and a vast majority of them. And the timeline to actually execute any of these partnerships will take, minimum 6 months, probably up to 2 years. You'll be surprised by how many hurdles that you need to jump over to get any of these partnerships, on ground. There are the regulatory and legal considerations. Of course, there's the financial, considerations. Technology is another massive, area that we need to address and ensure everything is working fine. And then the bean counters, need to also, and the compliance guys need to ensure that everything is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So the ecosystem is open. As I said, we've been speaking to a number of your cohorts in the past. We've gone, quite a way, I would say, with at least one of them. We should be, announcing something pretty soon. Once we get NICOM approval, that's where we are, at the moment. And yeah, we're excited to work with everybody. I think I'm friends with a few of the guys, on the platform, and we engage while, officially, and while we are sipping cold drinks in the evening as well. So yeah, we're happy to work with everybody.
Thank you very much. Alfred, what would be Axamansat, what would you describe as Axamansat's partnership ecosystem? I think you're on mute. I can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
All right, great. Okay, so I was saying that we have a dedicated digital partnerships team, basically set up within, AXA's digital ecosystem, digital business called AXA Direct, to basically cater to this this unique space. The team, just as Tunde said, the experience we've had over time is that it actually takes us a long time to actually onboard a partner. Jumping legal hurdles and other regulatory hurdles. It takes us between 6 to 9 months. In our own case, on the average, but we've started to dig deep and see how we can actually shorten this process. So what we've come up with now is that the team basically has its first meeting with the digital partnerships team, basically to scope the project, and we understand what the deliverables would be for all parties. We are then, we're then setting up a platform that allows us to onboard customers, faster than we've always been doing. We've been onboarding customers in 30 days before, basically because of the legal, back and forth and product development. So we've designed a platform where the tech company can actually go to that platform, fill a short form, and that short form basically comes internally for approval. Once that's sorted, the acceptance and conditions, which basically serves as the legal hurdle, which was always a challenge. Once they've accepted that, was sorted. We have open APIs. Just at AXA, we believe partnerships are unique. We have APIs for all our retail products today, even in the health business, most especially. But most partners come to us, asking for unique things. Hey, I want my customer to have a little bit of health insurance. That's one license on the health side. But because they are low income earners, that's a living benefit. If they die, something happens to the children. So putting a little bit of education insurance in there, that's another license. And if they get injured, I want some form of personal accident, permanent disability type cover in there. That's a third license. And for 3 different companies, we're able to then marry everything together and come up with a unique API for that product for the customers. We're currently doing integrations today within a week. APIs are actually drafted and designed, and API documents are actually drafted, within 48 hours at the end of the day. So we welcome a lot of companies to actually start to engage us and see what we can do around this space today. But that's basically how it is for us at AXA.
Awesome. So you mentioned product development for the different insurtech startups are seeking for partnership, right? As it is today, you probably have to go through some form of regulatory approval if you're going to do any form of tweak or adjustment or modification to certain products. How are you able to manage regulatory expectations with then providing adequate and outstanding services to your partners?
Yeah, we've built a good relationship with the regulators. As Tunde earlier said in his notion, unlike the past where we spent a lot of time engaging regulators and defending product designs and the rest, it's been a bit swifter with the regulators these days than in the past. So we're able to put together documentation, especially when snippets of the product fall from existing products. So it's basically a bundle in this case rather than a new product. So it's a bundle design position as new because of the way it's structured. So the regulators are really open-minded these days, and we manage the partners' expectations and then manage the regulators to then come up with something great at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. Piyush, would you like to tell us about AICO's partner ecosystem?
Well, I think Tunde and Alfred have covered more or less the entire thing. At AICO also, we have a simple culture of ready-made APIs. So when you come in, APIs available, you can straight away integrate. We have also made it available APIs, even if you want to integrate using a short code, APIs available to work with the short codes also. Apart from that, we have also created a lot of products. We have a better team of actuaries. So we have created a lot of products which are the low value product. We can tell you a health insurance product could be as low as 500 naira for a year. So that kind of products also we have created. And we have got the regulatory approvals and kept them ready. And approvals have been taken in such a way that they can be used for building blocks. So if you want to join them together, you want to keep to sell them, unbundle them, you want to bundle them, you want to create a package, whichever way you want to do, there's a lot of flexibility in the approvals, the way approvals have been taken. So what we do is, as we said clearly, that we will go through an evaluation process. And once the focus is very clear that both of us are going to win out of it, we will go all out to support the partner to ensure that partnership is success. Yes, failure rates is high, but it's okay. Startups is all about trying and succeeding and trying and failing. So there's no problem. We are there to support them. That's how we work at partnership right now.
Thank you very much, Piyush. I think that I'll leave the floor open. I think that Damola has a question. Damola, if you are available, could you please ask your question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to ask about the telco space. We are talking about um, we're talking about in financial inclusion and getting more people to buy insurance. Enough number of telcos get telcos. Is that a space that interests insurers, ICO, AXA, Cornerstone?
Damala, your question was not very clear, but of course, working with telco will be interest for everybody. I can be talking on everybody's behalf. So that's the largest market which can distribute anything for every product. So on a large basis, high level basis, answer is yes.
Okay. Let me also share a timeline of events in the telco partnerships. Alfred and I mentioned that our companies, respective companies, had telco partnerships between 2016 and 2014, 2016, thereabouts. These were all halted because the Central Bank of Nigeria felt using airtime as a mode of payment for insurance premiums could lead to inflation or could increase money supply and lead to inflation. And they kicked against it. That's why all these telco partnerships, stopped. We've been engaging the CBN. Piyush and I were in Abuja, I can't remember when it was, but we've taken several trips, to meet with NICOM, CBN, NCC, to lobby them, even the one of the EDs at AXA Mansard. In fact, Alfred also was one of those meetings, I recall. So that is the timeline, right? In our discussions with the regulators, they've said all the telcos, at least 3 of the telcos now have payment service bank licenses. Go and talk to payment service banks and go and integrate with them. But the challenge is the payment service banks themselves have a lower, and even mobile money has a lower penetration than insurance. They have a lower customer base, have a lower contribution to GDP than insurance. So who's helping who here? Well, the realities also of working with the telcos, their setup costs, the IT infrastructure costs, there's the cost that the vast companies will take. There's the payment gateway cost, right? And when you factor in all these costs also, you find out that sometimes what is left for the underwriter may not be enough to actually, cover our own costs, let alone cover, claims. So as much as the telco partnerships is wonderful, there are also realities, that are keeping us. I've mentioned the historic issues, and I've also mentioned, the some of the hurdles that we need to cross, in the future.
Alfred, would you like to chip in?
Yeah, just like Piyush has said, the telco space, it's one that every insurer would love to play in because it gives you access to another dimension of customers or a huge influx of customers at probably a lower cost, since the telcos already know how to reach their customers easily through SMS interact, ways they interact with customers. But Tunde already puts the challenge forward. The use of airtime has been abolished by the regulators, and because of that, that challenge, we're not able to really push forward. But yes, it's actually a space that we would love to play in, definitely.
All right. Thank you very much. Would you have, any advice to our Infotech startups here on, how to upskill especially through a partnership that your different organizations will be providing. Basically, what
Okay,
about
for
that?
me? Yeah, my advice would be, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. The thing is, the space is very wide. The insurtech is basically the future of insurance, in my opinion. It is the future of retail. The brokerage space and all is kind of like saturated, and it being the future definitely needs a lot of work needs to be done. We're happy to work with you to kick off that work and ensure that everybody's successful and profitable at the end of the day. Thank you. Comfort has a question.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you. My question would be that just like Piyush have clearly, outlined the areas of partnership, they're looking forward to having with InsurTech, like us in this cohort. I would appreciate it. Perhaps I missed it, but I don't think I got that from Assad and the other company. Was it? Sorry. Yeah, we would like to have that. Yeah, Connors.
Okay, for AXA, there are just 5 key areas we're looking out for. Distribution is one of them. Underwriting excellence, it's another one. A company that's able to come up with better ways for us to underwrite policies or check our risk assessments and all of that. Claims management is another area. If you have tools that could help us, to improve our claims experience, use data to actually analyze or predict potential claims and all of that, yeah, we're happy to use your platform or to partner with you. Payments is one area that's also key for us, both payments in terms of collections and also remittance for claims, and customer management being the last, the 5th area. Can you help us with your tools to manage our customers more effectively, how we communicate with them, how we reach out to them, and how they also manage their policies that they already have with us, and get the best experience from the entire project. That would be it for AXA, just 5 key areas. Thank you.
All right, one more thing, sorry, for you specifically. Do you do agri? And yeah, let me start from there.
Oh, yes, we do. We're also, part of the AXA group worldwide. And part of the AXA group is an entity called AXA Climate, which is basically setting up in Nigeria under AXA Mansard. What they're able to do is do index-based pricing for agriculture today. So we're able to say, for example, a customer has 1 acre of land in Ekiti. Is want to plant beans, for example, we're able to then use the weather conditions, predict the weather conditions, predict the soil, use the soil texture and a lot of things to be able to predict what the yield would be for that customer, for that farmer at the harvest period. Now, when the yield is below par, we're able to then step in. We have other agri products that we basically dish out. We're happy to engage to discuss further on this outside of here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I'm expecting the feedback as well from Cornerstone as regards the area of specific areas of our partnership.
Absolutely. Your startup is an agri-focused company. We have an agriculture business embedded in our subsidiary Fin Insurance. So we can certainly have a chat on that. I'll drop my email address in the chat area, and you can always reach me, for scheduling.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Comfort. Tunde, what would be your advice to our InsurTech startups in terms of, having a successful partnership and upscaling?
The advice is, first of all, come to us with your ideas. We have the experience, we have the underwriting. We've heard it all before, for the most part, and we'll be able to tell you if the idea, has legs, or if you should probably think of tweaking. We can even help you tweak your idea, right? So yeah, the first advice is talk to these two gentlemen here. Have both been colleagues. At one point in time, they're two of the finest people in this industry you'll meet. I'd like to add myself to that list as well. I think um, you know. Yeah, we've been there, we've done that. So, come and talk to us. We'll dimension, your proposal, and we'll probably add, some value as well to enhance it.
Thank you very much, Tunde. Piyush, additional thoughts?
So I think starting an InsurTech is not a sprint, is a marathon. We will have to go through the process of learning. The curve is going to be long, but very, very beneficial because we are sitting in a market which is going to grow. It is rarely an occasion in the industry, in the global industry, where you're sitting at a market which market is going to grow because everything else across the world has already grown. So for me is very clearly continue to have your focus, have you pitch your objectives very clear. Your objective has to be very clearly defined and then chase. And that's how I think we all can succeed. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think that we have the floor. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now. We still have a couple of minutes before we end this particular session. So anyone would like to go? Okay, I don't understand calling out people. Do you have contributions to what has been discussed? Do you have questions about, how these organizations can help with the peculiarity of your business? So would you like to clarify, certain partnership questions? Anyone?
Yes, for me, I really want to hear from Social Care. I don't know if Mr. Nonso is on the call. Really would like to understand. What really is your model? And I mean, we kicked off some discussions earlier, but it never went through. How can we, work together to ensure that you're able to then scale your business beyond, however it is right now? Hello, Mr. Naso.
Hello.
Hi, we can't hear you. Okay, now we can.
Yeah, I think I'm having a connection problem. Yeah, the part, yeah, we try to use that to launch a pilot in River State, and the pilot is meant to start the 5th of June. So it had a couple of delay because of government approval and things, but we are hoping to kick it off in a couple of weeks' time. So by then, I will definitely send another mail for follow-up.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Follow me. That'll be all for me. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I was talking, but I was on mute. Okay, thank you very much. I don't think that we are having any questions from the audience. I was thinking that Ashil will ask, a question as to how this will relate to his business, or Sean, for instance, you have like the main people here. Also for I'm not sure Bolu's on the call. I was going to say how insurance could help back up business models like GAMP, for instance. So if you have any questions just before we sign up, Temitope, do you want to contribute, like chime in, or give your thought?
Yeah, that's it for me, Polumi. Thank you.
All right. I think that this has been an awesome session. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Polumi.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. For some reason, I'm not able to type. I was hoping that they would share their email in the chat room, but maybe after this call, I can get it from the BimaLab team. I did not see it on the chat. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. So Tunde already shared this. I think that we could share that on the WhatsApp platform, if that works for you, at least so that everybody can have
All right. Thank you.
contact as well. Perfect. Okay. So thank you very much for joining this session. It's been very educating, and we're able to at least see from a better perspective what we need to do, or what is required of insurtech startups in Nigeria, and how to collaborate effectively and move the industry forward. So I'd like to say a very big thank you to you again for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
All right.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.